Hello guys, welcome to my very first YouTube channel. Okay, so I am very happy and excited to embark on this journey. I hope whatever video I upload on this channel will be very creative and of very huge importance to you guys. Welcome once more guys. So today on this very first video, we're going to talk about supply and demand zones. Okay, we're going to talk about why supply and demand zones do not get held most often. Okay, so we're gonna talk about why these zones do not hold. Okay, so we're gonna dive straight into the video. So before that, I'm gonna illustrate what I mean by supply and demand zones not holding. Okay, so let's take for instance, for example, we are actually on a downward trend. Okay, it's actually moving on some up and downward movements, creating this waves. Okay, something like this happening, right? Which means we have gotten breaks towards the downside. Okay, right? So it means we are actually on a bearish trend right here. Okay, so this actually means any supply zone in here can actually hold, right? Because the trend is already bearish. Any supply zone in here can actually hold, as you can rightly see in here. So now what I mean by demand or supply zones not holding is that what, based on my experience, based on who I've actually talked to as traders, I have actually come to realize that most often, even me at times, we get caught on the wrong side of the market because of market structure. Okay, so when we actually seen something like this of this sort, like we are probably in a bearish trend, as you can rightly see right here. So most often what happens is, when the market is already giving us signs that it's intending to shift to the other side, most often you will still find traders actually saying these are all valid supply zones which they will want to trade off from. And of course, when you will find the market reaching those zones, of course they will always react off those zones, but the change of trend, or actually what I actually call displacement, once it has happened, all these zones towards the upside will no longer exist. Okay, you actually find the market reacting to them, at times giving you some bearish movements, but it will continue to move towards the upper side. Okay, so this is what I always say, at times you must and always pay attention to market structure. So you cannot only and always trade supply and demand on its own, but you're gonna merge these two concepts together. Okay, so this is why I say you must pay attention to this concept, because you might really mess up everything once you don't know when there is that displacement happening. Okay, so let's move on the chart and I will show you what I mean by supply and demand zones not holding. Okay, so we are actually now on the Euro USD chart daily. Okay, the chart was probably on at this level. Let's just go as an example. We had the very first break right here, we had a second break. Okay, at this point in time, we all saw like the random breaks towards the downside, which meant only one thing, which meant the trend is bearish, right? Which means the market is going bearish. Okay, so what does that mean? That means all these supply zones which it leaves behind them, okay, they are no longer valid. As the market is continuing breaking towards the downside, all these supply zones which it leaves behind are no longer valid, right? Let me just put them out for you guys. All these zones right here, they will no longer be valid. All these zones right here, you will see some trader will say this is valid, probably this is valid, this is valid. They want to trade off from here, they want to trade off from here. All these zones are no longer valid because we already have seen a displacement happening in the market, right? We have already seen a displacement happening in the market. So what does that mean? It means the market has actually changed its phase from a downtrend to actually an upper trend, right? Same scenario right here. Okay, so if you're actually seeing this happening, you are seeing up and down movements, creating higher and higher highs. Once it comes in these previous supply zones which got left from the previous trend, they will actually react off it, because of course, for the market to move either to the upper side or to the downside, there should be a certain buyer and there should be a certain seller, right? So that is why you always find market reacting off these zones. and as well keep breaking towards the upper side, right? So in this case, this was a valid demand zone, which after this break, it came back into it, right? So same scenario right here. The market hasn't given us a strong break right here, but again, I was still wanting to see the market take off this high. Okay, even if you want to illustrate deeper, let's try to illustrate deeper. I will get rid of this. I will illustrate deeper for you guys. Let's go, for example, for let's say 2 hours, for example, 2 hours time frame. Right, as you can see from here, the market was actually bullish, right? The market was actually bullish from here. We had these breaks from here, we had these breaks from here, demand zone, probably we had this break, we had demand zone, stuff like that, right? We had all these breaks towards the upper side. We had the demand zone right there. But again, once again, we saw another displacement towards the upper side, right? Once that displacement came in right there, once you had that displacement, what does that mean? It only meant one thing. It actually meant the market has changed from moving towards the upside, which is a bullish trend, to what we call a bearish trend, right? From this time frame, which is 2 hours. Okay, it means the market has moved from going upward, now it wants to go lower, right? Same scenario. It doesn't mean now, since this is going lower, it doesn't mean this is a valid demand zone which you have to trade from. No, as you can clearly see, the market will always react off those demand zone. They are not valid, and that is the only reason why you are always caught on the wrong side of the market, right? As you can clearly see, you have another one right here. You have another demand zone right there, which still can't get validated, right? So all these zones which are being left behind will always and always be for you to get it's there not for you to trade, but it's there for you to be aware and know, okay, the market will react off it, but that is not a valid zone for you to trade off. The only zones which you should trade off should be now supply zones, right? Should be only supply zones. Of course, as you all know, not all supply zones will always get tapped into, right? Should be all those supply zones. And of course, it's not a must for it to come back before moving, right? We'll explain that in some upcoming videos, right? But for the sake of this video, I just want to illustrate to you guys why your supply zones will never hold if and only if you have been caught on the wrong side of the market. So this comes to let you guys know that you cannot trade demand and supply alone without market structure. So market structure should always be as like the guide or like the driver towards the direction in which you want to move into. So personally, the way I trade, I use market structure like my main concept. Okay, without market structure, I literally can't trade. Okay, so let's search for more examples. Let's even go for more examples. Let's go towards the backside. Anyways, to understand what I mean by these zones not holding, right? Just go on any chart, on any time frame, as the market has actually when you have already seen a bearish move or a certain direction in the market, just try to pinpoint where are those supply zones as the market is going bearish, okay? And then try to pull out now those zones, those same zones towards the other side. And when the market has gotten a displacement and has changed its direction, you actually can come to know what how the markets react of these zones when this phase has actually changed. For example, right, this is a daily right here. This is the daily right here. 1 second. Is this a good example? Yeah, let's say for this is a daily right here, right? This is a daily chart right here. We all see as the market is actually tapping into supply zones, giving us breaks to the downside. We have supply zones. I'm just making random, okay? It's not something very finest. I'm just giving you random, okay? We have a supply zone right there. We have supply zone of these breaks, right? Of these breaks. So these are all valid supply zones towards the downside. But now, when the market has actually gotten a displacement and has actually shifted towards the opposite direction, you shouldn't be trading again those supply zones. Okay, those supply zones are already traded and they are not meant to hold anymore. So as you can all see, we have as well this break. Sorry, we have this break right here as well. We have this break right here as well, right? So these are all valid supply zones, right? Because we all know the market is bearish. Now look and see what happens once the market has gotten a displacement towards the opposite direction. Once you have the displacement towards the opposite direction, now look at what happens in the market. Now see what happens in the market, right? Someone might say this is a supply zone right here. Then now look at what happened to it. It tapped into it and it failed. It didn't go through it, right? Look at what happened. See, someone might say this is a supply zone. Someone might say this is a supply zone, right? Now look at what has happened. The market come into it, reacted, and still it pushed towards the upper side. Okay, so these are all examples where if you actually pay more attention onto the chart, just give some few minutes onto the chart, no matter what pair, right? Just pay a little bit attention and apply this same reasoning on the chart. You will actually come to realize that once the market has displaced, all those previous zones will not hold anymore. So these are little examples which I always see with some traders, okay, which are actually holding them back. Okay, let's even go to the present charts, right? Let's say these are live charts, right? This is very live chart. So as we all see, right, this is higher, and of course a high right here, and we have gotten a demand zone right here, right? Because this demand zone didn't give us that strong break to the upside, but still I am still willing to go higher from this point. Okay, so what does that mean? That doesn't mean that what, let's go lower, let's go one over. All right, okay, so that does not mean, as you can all see, the market is moving bearish. The market is moving bearish, right? Coming into that demand right there. So the market is giving us breaks, right? It's giving us breaks. Sorry, the market is giving us breaks. We have breaks towards the downside, which means that what, all these supply zones in here, all these supply zones are zones which you can trade off, right? Are all zones which you can trade off from. All these zones are zones which you can trade off from. So now, since I am actually expecting a bullish move, right? I have gotten a break right here. I've gotten a break right here and probably a second break right here. Okay, but if the market comes and takes back this low, then I want to see another strong break to take this high. So if the market actually breaks this high with strong moves, okay, and close with body candle, now this doesn't mean I should be looking for sales. No, I will not be looking for sales. I will not be looking for sales in these zones, right? I will not be looking for sales in these zones. Okay, I will not be looking for sales in those zones, because what? Because I have actually seen that the market is changing its face from a bearish direction to now a bullish direction, right? So what are we looking for? Instead for looking for bearish supply zones, I will looking for demand zones. Okay, I'll be looking for demand zones. I'll be looking for zones like this to come and see some confirms before I can take trades. Okay, so that is what I'll be looking for on this pair. So Euro USD for me, it's a long. Okay, sorry, it's a long. Euro USD for me is a long, but I want to see a strong break above this for me to start looking for those bullish moves. Okay, so that is what I had for you in this video. So as I told you guys, this is my very first video. So if you like this video and you wish to see more deep content of similar forms, please guys, please, I'm begging you guys, subscribe to the channel and click on the notification button. Okay, so I am very glad, and I wish to go more deeper in this trading journey on YouTube. So yeah, see you guys on the next video. So have a great time, and yeah, hopefully we should have more fun as the journey moves ahead. So please guys, do not forget, subscribe to the channel. Okay, I am pleading you guys, subscribe, to the channel, like, and share the channel to some of your friends. If you think this channel is helpful for your friends as well, feel free to share to your friends. Okay, see you guys, and bye, and waiting on the next video. Bye bye.